Min's Minute modcast with his mates, Ashney and Mo. Episode 201.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Min's Minute modcast with his mates. And today my mates are Ashney and Mo. So my second question is, is around, we had the big launch of ChatGPT last week, and I don't know if you guys watched that. I always love it when they do the demos, and I don't know about you, but every single person that comes on and does that demo, I'm like, are you a real person? Because you look like half robot, right? They're so young, they all like look perfect, and I'm like, okay, this is the world. We are now in the Black Mirror. But there we go. But yeah, so I watched that, and my personal reflections, having had a little play with it as well, is it's not that thing that people thought, which was like, okay, this is now super intelligence AGI. Not that they were said they were doing it, and although they've said, okay, you know, the first version of ChatGPT 3 was very much like a young high school student or whatever, and then the next version, GPT-4, was like a university student. Now this version is more like a PhD person, which, and in all aspects, it's like, you know, a real expertise. So that was the build up, and having used it a little bit over the last week or so, I've certainly seen that it's thinking a lot harder. I saw that thing that everyone puts like in the prompts, like always put in think hard. So I was putting think hard, and yeah, it certainly does think a lot harder, but I really like how it gives you the thinking as well as you go through to say, this is what I'm doing now, that didn't work, let me go and have a look at that. I mean, things you've probably seen in some of the other LLMs as well, but that's pretty neat. But yeah, love your thoughts if you have had to play with the new version, as to if you found it actually different and any improvements or not in terms of the new GPT-5.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's an exciting ChatGPT 5 launch. I feel whenever I watch them as well, it's like an Apple launch or something. They got a similar style to it, you know, reinventing something maybe that was already there, trying to upsell, you know, all that. With OpenAI, I believe we are the free beta users, A/B testers, you know, that's their model, which is so beautiful and fascinating. But regarding what they've done, I don't see significant like upgrade on all the stuff. The only thing that I do see, the responses are better. Actually, like when you're trying to prompt them, it goes through it logically. It thinks more, and of course, there's different options in ChatGPT 5. You can ask it to think more or give you a quick answer. So those kind of things is good. And we work with the image generation model in ChatGPT. We do training and workshops around that with architects and interior design companies. And our use cases are all about, okay, how can we make a mood board and implement that with using image generation on furniture or creating a floor plan and so on. It's become so much better. The image generation model hasn't improved necessarily, but the logical thinking, going through things, that part has improved. So our results are getting better, maybe by 20% or some sorts of like, it's not 100% double down or anything like that.
I've had a little look at it, and it's funny because I was actually also going to say it reminds me a lot of the Apple launches, in that I think AI is becoming like Apple, releasing these new launches, and there's not really that much of a difference, but it's just building up that hype, and it's like, you know, so similar to, let's say, the previous iPhone, but it's the newest model, so it's this brand shiny new thing. I think I would agree that it's the very subtle differences I've noticed. You know, slightly more nuanced thinking, faster response time, that sort of thing. But I think the essence of it has stayed the same. And so if this version is a PhD student, what would they make the next version? And again, where would that real difference be? Because obviously sort of Apple had that turning point where they completely changed the design of the iPhone. So in the same way, will AI have that turning point where it's a completely different model? It's completely different to what we've experienced before. That's the change I'd be interested to see.
Yeah. One of the things I saw was that the new model is less agreeable. So you might have seen like whatever you type, it's like, hey, I've got an idea for a business, and it can be like the rubbish idea, but it would still be like positive about it, and it's like, that's cool. Whereas now it'd be like, yeah, I don't think that's a good one, right? So I think that's really good, because then otherwise you're just going down a path that might not end so well. So it's calmed down a little bit, that it doesn't just have to be your best mate all the time and just affirm everything that you say.
That's really interesting. Less agreeable. You could argue that that's making it more human-like,
Yeah,
because humans aren't always agreeable.
yeah,
So then it goes into, is it trying to make AI as like human-like, essentially, as possible? and mimic, human reactions. Because in real life, if a business idea wasn't very good, someone would be honest and tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
But AI started out just saying, no, that's great. And now it's sort of giving a real life human response.
Yeah, that goes back to what you were just saying, Mo, in that I think we are the beta testers, right? In that that's probably the feedback that they had to say, make it more human, and humans won't always agree with every single thing that you say, right? So that's what they do.